What's up, my friends? Jeff from Texas Moto Works. Do you remember the ZX9? Well, not a lot of people do. This was kind of the era, it was like the new dawn of the 900 era again. The 900 era obviously was back in the KZs, the KZ 900. But Honda started it off again in, I believe it was 1992. They came out with the CBR 900, and the premise was a 600cc bike with a 900cc motor. And they were formidable. The CBR, the early 900s, kind of had a little bit of a reputation as widowmakers. There was a lot of motor in their frames and wheelbase and all that. Well, the ZX9 was Kawasaki's answer. And this one was a 94. I think 94 was first year. I've gone all through the bike. And of course, as always, carbs. And boy, oh boy, the carbs on this one really beat me up. And kind of a couple of issues I had to sort through on this bike. One, there's conflicting information about the float levels. So I had the floats set too high. I couldn't figure out what was fouling plugs. Turns out that the floats needed to be 2 millimeters lower. They needed to be at 13 and not 11. So that solved that. But what it did is then it fouled the plugs. Took me a little bit to figure out that was causing an issue. And I keep learning this. I keep learning this lesson, but I completely went through the carbs, completely cleaned them, did everything they needed. Forgot about, I put an IV bottle on it upstream of the pump, and forgot that there's probably bad, nasty fuel in the pump. Guess where it went? Right in the carbs. Couldn't figure out why the bike wasn't running right. Took the carbs off again. Found stuff in the float bowls. Cleaned out the pilots. Didn't think to check the emulsion tubes, which was an issue. So I'd been fighting the last couple of days, like, why is it not running right? The pilots are clear. The floats are set right. Turns out tonight, after I pulled the carbs for like the third time. Now, listen, I consider myself a carb expert at this point, but I'm still learning lessons. And that's just a rookie move. I've got to remind myself that there's gonna, if they've got a fuel pump, there's gonna be junk in the fuel pump. But that one kind of threw me because I didn't even think about the emulsion tubes. I took the emulsion tubes apart and all the holes in them were plugged, which is why it wasn't running right. Finally got it running right. And just runs like a gem now. Look at that, just nice smooth idle. Beautiful. So get the fuel tank on it, do some test riding tomorrow. Rebuilt the brakes, flushed all the fluids, brand new tires, adjusted the chain, detail it up a little bit. These are neat bikes. Not a whole lot of these running around. But yeah, so that's that. So anyway, all right guys. Thanks for tuning in.